All right, we got the full summary for the spoilers for chapter 1077, and fortunately, we're going to be able to go over so much more than what we went over yesterday, because we're pretty much going over the full chapter here, and yeah, it gets even crazier than what we thought, so let's just get right into it. So, on the cover page, we see Germa 66's cover story continuing, where it says, after thinking about it, they realize the real obstacle is Vegapunk. And the cover takes place in the present of this cover story. Judge and Caesar stop fighting. So I was actually talking about this yesterday. We didn't know that this was happening real time. I thought maybe this was going to continue like the past of Mads that we've been seeing. But I mentioned before that the cover stories, at least recently, have been like tying into the actual like ongoing arc story. So I think this might also coincide with that, kind of like how it did in the previous arc with us finding out that Kuzan was a part of the Blackbeard Pirates and that they had actually stole pudding from Whole Cake Island. But what I'm saying is that it's possible that Caesar and Judge may be connected or responsible for what's currently going on at Egghead. Like, I don't know, maybe they contacted the world government, something, not really sure, but it is a possibility. Chapter starts with Sentomaru telling all Egghead's workers to escape from the island. Sentomaru tells everyone about Ohara's incident. We see an Ohara recap panel, like recap panels we saw in the Reverie arc. Sentomaru says that something worse may about to happen in Egghead Island. So, in case you're unaware, Sentomaru turned face a couple chapters back after it was revealed that like he was indebted to Vegapunk, and since Vegapunk was on Luffy's side, Sentomaru kind of just by proxy wound up being on Luffy's side as well, since he was requested to help him, and now he's pretty much helping everybody else on the island too. Like, Sentomaru's having a hard face turn here. Cut to Luffy's group, and Shaka tells Luffy that he has an idea where Stella might be. Luffy, Zoro, Lucci, Kaku are still fighting against Seraphim. During some pages of the chapter, they use attacks like Gomu Gomu no Kong Organ or Shishi Sansan against them, but Seraphim get up with no damage. Luffy is very upset. He says, how can you keep getting up? Are you Kaido or something? So this is wild. We did not know this yesterday. In the previous chapter, we saw them going against the Seraphims, and they were pretty much taking them down, no problem. Like even Luffy in just Gear 4 and Lucci in his standard Zoan form. But now it turns out that they're way more powerful than we thought. Well, definitely more powerful than like, I don't know, Gear 4 level, I guess you could say. They're, I guess, more or less like Commander level, like what we thought, but, you know, with enhanced endurance and durability. And it's not necessarily because of Kaido. I mean, he might have something to do with this, but we're going to find out exactly why they're so durable. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Private Internet Access. Private Internet Access is a virtual private network, or a VPN for short, which hides your IP address and safeguards your internet connection through an encrypted tunnel. And believe it or not, Private Internet Access also provides a tool that can help anime fans. And I'll get more into that later, but Private Internet Access is also a tool that helps you with your everyday life. Because whenever you connect to the internet on a public Wi-Fi network, your data is at risk of being stolen. That's why Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection through their world-class server infrastructure, which makes your information shielded and bulletproof. But that's not all, because Private Internet Access also allows you to access region-restricted content from all over the world. Guys, we all love anime on this channel, and streaming services are notorious for region blocking certain anime. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, because Private Internet Access helps you overcome these restrictions by giving you the option to change your IP address to one of their 84 countries to choose from, as well as all 50 US states, allowing you to gain access to websites and services that are only available in those locations. So now we can finally catch new episodes of the Big 3 Shonen series on Netflix, something that we were never able to do before. Guys, watching anime on streaming services without Private Internet Access is like paying for a season pass in a game, but only getting a fraction of the DLCs. So guys, you can get Private Internet Access by clicking my link in the description, and by doing that, you're also going to get an 83% discount on Private Internet Access. That's just $2.03 a month, and you'll also get 4 extra months completely free. Thanks, guys. Because the battle stops for a moment, Luffy and Lucci return to normal human form, and Zoro realizes that Seraphim are somewhat similar to King. Shaka hears that and explains that Lunarian blood taken from King was used to add power to the Seraphim. Then Shaka leaves the group to search Stella. Okay, so yeah, this is what we were talking about yesterday. We saw that Zoro did recognize finally that the seraphims were similar to King. You know, the only Lunarian left, possibly, and Zoro being one of the very few characters in the series who has encountered one and / knows what they are. And I was hoping to hear from Vegapunk about them and the process that went into making them, but at least we're hearing it from Shaka. Although briefly, he just says they have Lunarian blood. And they were able to get this Lunarian blood, I assume, from King, because we saw in King's flashback, like before he was defeated by Zoro, that he was like captured by the world government at some point and being experimented on, along with Kaido. Like, that's how they met. I think they were actually at Punk Hazard possibly when that was going down, but that's how they were able to get the Lunarian blood here and add it to the seraphims to make them beasts, like endurance and durability and physical powerhouses. But Zoro tells everyone about the Lunarian weakness. He says, pay attention to that flame on their backs. When the flame goes out, you can attack them, but when the flames are on, they are practically invincible. And Lucci's like, it's okay, at least we know how to fight them now. And Zoro's like, King's special characteristics are black wings, white hair, brown skin, and flames on his back. And then Lucci, Luffy, and Kaku are like, you should have realized that sooner. And that's like the joke that I was pretty much making yesterday, that it's funny that it took so long for Zoro to realize this. But then again, that is like Zoro's gag. He's kind of like a bit behind everyone else. The battle against the seraphims continues. So yeah, I assume that they're going to wind up defeating the seraphims now that they know their quote-unquote weakness. I mean, this is exactly what Zoro used to defeat King, so I assume it's going to play out the same way here. Cut to Nami's group. Edison is destroyed by S-Shark. He's still moaning but heavily damaged. Nami uses Zeus to attack S-Shark with Reite, Thunderbolt, and Seraphim gets up after the attack. Suddenly Sanji appears and kicks S-Shark. He will fight against him. So yeah, this is Sanji's opponent. He's taking on S-Shark, which is the Jinbei Seraphim, and this should be a good fight for Sanji. But considering how powerful he came out of Wano, like whatever that power-up that he got against Queen, which is still unexplained, he should make quick work of S-Shark here. At least if he goes like all out. Cut to Usopp's group. Pythagoras' head is with them. Lilith uses her bubble gun on S-Snake because it contains the sea energy like Sea Stone or Kairoseki, so bubbles must touch S-Snake to weaken her. Wow, I did not know that Vegapunk had this. So we found out about this bubblegum yesterday, but we did not know that it had Sea Stone energy into it, or sea energy. This is wild. This is definitely one of the most significant weapons in the series. Like, you could pretty much take down most of the cast with this thing. Frankie holds a bubble and uses it to pin S-Snake down on the ground, but Frankie puts the bubble over S-Snake like a solid ball, and she starts crying and she says she's in pain. So Frankie panically apologizes and his hand slips. Then she escapes and kicks Frankie, turning him to stone. Okay, so we're about to get into the problematic portion of this chapter, and it has to do with S-Snake, of course. So she's the Boa Hancock Seraphim, and she has the powers of the Mero Mero Mi. And we went over the definition yesterday, which I'll put up here, but it appears that there's like more to it, and there's like cuteness that plays into it too. So you don't necessarily have to be quote unquote attracted to the user, thankfully, or at least I hope that's just Oda clearing up his own problematic plot holes that he put in here. But it doesn't really matter. They're making it evidently clear that it is cuteness here that is activating her fruit power. So I guess we can just not give these characters so much crap like I was giving them yesterday. Then S-Snake gives Usopp, that didn't do anything in the battle, and Lilith a cute wink, and they smile at her cuteness. S-Snake uses the Mero 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 to turn Usopp and Lilith to stone. We don't see if Pythagoras' head is turned to stone or not. So this is what I was talking about, and it's really whatever. It's just necessary for the plot to continue at this point, if anything. It's less of a commentary on Usopp. We all know he's a good guy. It's more so Sanji that is the problematic one, but it's interesting that Lilith is turning to stone because she's like a robot. But, you know, devil fruit magic doesn't really play by any rules anyway, so I guess it could just affect anything that has consciousness. Cut to Shaka. He's walking down to the old devil fruit research room underground. We can't see much of it. It seems like it's in a dark abandoned lab. Shaka finds the secret prison there, and he's shocked when he sees Stella and all of the Cypher Pole agents. Shaka says, Stella, so you're here. Who on earth did such a thing? I'll release you right now. Stella realizes that there's someone in the shadows behind Shaka. Stella says, Shaka, did you bring someone else with you? Shaka turns around and hears some footsteps. A mysterious person walks down the stairs behind Shaka. We can't see who's that person. The mysterious person shoots Shaka in the head with her gun, and it seems like a normal gun, not a futuristic. Shaka's head explodes with blood everywhere. Stella is shocked. So, first of all, I don't think that's blood. It might be oil or something. It doesn't really make sense that Shaka would have blood since he's like a robot. robot, or at least I assume he's a robot. Maybe this is like the twist reveal that he's a human. Remains to be seen on that, but Shaka is pretty much dead here, which is like a huge twist because Shaka was like one of the main candidates for who we assumed would be the traitor at this point because he's been acting very sus these last couple chapters. I mean, even actually, if you just go right back to the beginning of this arc, I suppose he was always sus, but I guess that was Oda intentionally doing that as a red herring to misdirect us from who the actual real quote-unquote traitor is. And I thought maybe Punk Records, like the huge big brain thing, the Vegapunk's internet that he kind of invented, I thought maybe that became self-aware, kind of like Skynet and the Terminator, and now it's just running things and slowly taking out the Vegapunks and everything because it deemed that that's the best course of action or whatever, and that is a possibility. But if it's not that, then I'm not really sure who is actually pulling the strings here. If it's not like Stella himself and it's just like a double take and we're supposed to like not think he is, then think he is, and then it turns out that he actually is. But it also could be Stussy who is doing all of this, but then again it could also be freaking Saturn, the Gorosei member that is on his way to Egghead with Kizaru. And it's possible that he got here way sooner than we thought, and I know that's weird because it's like, why would he be doing all this? And I don't know. The thing that makes me think that, again, aside from the possible silhouette that we saw of him in that camera footage, or the security camera footage, it's like they pull out the gun here and it's like, you know, the flintlock pistol, I assume, which is common to One Piece, considering that they're stating that it's not the futuristic gun. So if it's like a flintlock pistol, it's like a pirate or somebody like that. I mean, also the Marines have those too. So if it's not them, then I don't know. Like I said before in the previous video, it could be more seraphims of the other warlords that we haven't seen yet. It could be like a Doflamingo or a Crocodile or a Moria seraphim, and they're being commanded by, I don't know, it's either being commanded by the secret traitor, whoever that is, or you know, Punk Records, which technically is Vegapunk, so it would have authority over them. And if it's not that, then you know, it's just the wild, crazy twist that Saturn is a crazy powerhouse, and he's just having fun here because I don't know, I haven't been out of Marijois in years, and I decided to have fun. But we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.